Okay. We gotta talk here. We gotta talk. Let me tilt this just a bit more down so it's a little less light. Kind of brightening in now. No! Okay, look. See if I can get a little less light in now. Okay, this is kind of a rant here, really. So I just heard now, and this is completely unexpected, but I just heard that there's rumors of the PlayStation 4. Again, for like the 5 millionth time. And this time it's actually seeming like there's a strong possibility of it not being so rumorish and possibly being real. And, I don't know, I'm already not looking forward to it. Like, game industry, we need to have a serious talk here. Graphics, awesome. Really good, artistic styles and stuff. Coolio. But, I just don't understand. Am I the only one who seem to be realizing the game industry is like crushing itself when it's trying to focus on graphics so much? I mean, does anyone aware of how many companies have went out of business for the mere functionality of making their games? The people who made LA Noire, they don't exist anymore. They went out of business making that game. The company made Sacred 2. They went out of business making their game. And it's not just some... There's a number of companies that have spent so much... And like, LA Noire is not like some, crappy game that didn't sell well. It sold awesome. But yet, here we are. Here we are right here. Well... there are people who made the game are gone. They went pfft. But why did they go pfft? And, like, it's like with Final Fantasy 13. Square Enix spent so much time making Final Fantasy 13. You can't tell me the mechanics of the gameplay took that long to make. No, all the fucking cutscenes and everything being made is what consumed so much time. Development time is insane on these high-budget AAA titles for graphics. Yes, looking good is a good thing, but looking good doesn't mean you have to be the highest settings of bloom and HD in existence. I mean, look, there's bloom right here. Oh, is that making this look good? Probably not. I still have to kind of fiddle around with lights in this house for my camera. But I don't understand why, like, because I always, like, watched 3 videos and read several things about this, and they're always like, it's going to be more PC, technology is going to be greater, faster, we're going to hype Uncharted 4 to be the most powerful fucking thing ever. I mean, I don't have a problem with, games looking good. If you make the game look good, you have sources and that's fine. But there have been countless companies with successful games that have just sunk literally from making their game in current graphical standards. I mean, can you imagine what it's going to be like going to the next level for some companies? Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. And a lot of Americans, like, I can't tell you how much I want to take a bottle and just wham someone's head with an empty bottle when they're like, oh, well, those are 2D graphics. That's not fun. It needs to be like head shadowing, blood spewing. And like, It's like they can't wrap their head around the gameplay. They want to visually see high def things. That's the game to them. Last time I checked, games were about gameplay. Now, admittedly, that ain't necessarily all games. There are a few exceptions in different ways, like visual novels for stories, and there are a few exceptions for the for the sake of like artistic design and such. So it's not 100% set in stone, but it's definitely the vast majority of games are obviously meant to be played, not to sit and watch giant high definition graphics and that. But I feel like I don't know. I don't know if like the people making the consoles or making people pressured like this, or if it's the customers was like pressuring them to keep pushing the technology to where nobody can afford anything. I mean, let's be realistic. When the PlayStation 3 came out, it was what, $599? $599. Pretty much any console that ever went over $399 has pretty much went down the toilet. I mean, the Neo Geo, as sophisticated and technologically advanced it was when it came out, it was too much. It was, if I remember correctly, the exact same price point. $599 when the Neo Geo came out. And look at it. It's not a very common system to see in stores, and its games are incredibly expensive. And it was not successful. It had a fan base, but it was not a very publicly successful thing because it was really expensive. And it wasn't until like the PlayStation 3 went down some before it started reaching more public access. I mean, like what is the PlayStation 4 going to go out for? Because I'm sure Nintendo, when they like Nintendo's Wii U, it's the first time they're taking a loss on a console from the start. The 3DS is technically the first Nintendo system to take a loss on selling. Nintendo has always never made a loss off those systems. Like, ever since we owned the 3D age, basically every other console, aside from Nintendo, has taken a loss releasing their system out. The 360 and PS3, Sony and Microsoft, both take a loss selling their systems at slightly cheaper of what they supposedly cost to make. And because of that, they introduced it where they get a little revenue for your games being on those systems. And Nintendo supposedly didn't do that. I'm not sure if they're going to do that now, though. Not really sure, but I do know they said when they released the Wii U that they are taking a loss on. So it's a forced step out there for them, definitely there. But like, I still amazed, like, the Wii U, I don't know how many times I always have to say that Gunpei Yokoi, I just always admired his vision to not abuse technology and not to go to the obscurely insane high levels that you could go. Use cost-efficient technology. I mean, look at the Wii U. It's basically now up to stuff to the PS3 and 360, like years later now, where the technology is more affordable than that. And then, obviously, Sony probably feels pressure with the Wii U coming out. Now it's up to their stuff. Now they have to compete with the 360 and the Wii U, which has the capability, supposedly, to basically run games from their system and that. So now it'll be all cross 3 platform releases unless they take the initiative to leap forward and hope all the big AAA people hop on board. And I'm sure this is going to sprout out rumors about the next Xbox. I don't know. I don't know. I've never really felt dreaded about a new console coming out. Like, I've always been excited for a new console, but these days I feel dreaded at how more technologically advanced we keep pushing, forcibly pushing games. I mean, like, I don't know, it's just, it saddens me so many companies sink and waste so much money, even though they made a good game, or completely sunk and still succeeded in making a game out there. And like Rockstar, you know, with LA Noire, you know, it's like successful Rockstar game, like that company went like, it's just really a shame, you know, if you're not a big ass corporation with tons of fucking money to recover yourself, it's just doing me a death sentence. And in America, there's so many of these people who just like, it is not the latest 3D, the biggest HD graphics, huge ass scaling in the world. I don't even want to touch it. Wait, 32nd Hero? What? It's shit, fucking 8-bit shit on PSP? What the? Get that thing out of you. It's like, screw. I can't wrap my head around somebody who thinks like that. I can't understand that thought process. I can't. It just makes my head hurt. Like, bleed outward. Now, I really do hope for good things with the PS4. I don't condemn it to hell or anything, but I just don't feel really happy for it to push technology forward. There's always supposed schematics that of how much better it's going to be, and they're all apparently getting ready to throw hype around about the next Uncharted title that's going to push graphics to new levels beyond anything humanly possible. That I don't know. I mean, well, the PS3, it was supposedly supposed to do that, and well, it's pretty much the same standard level as 360. I mean, mid to now of their lifetimes, most games have been released on both systems now. I mean, they're exclusive still, but let's admit they're pretty far and beyond for both systems outside, you know, their own franchises like Uncharted for Sony and Halo for Microsoft. You know, stuff like the Resident Evil games and stuff, you know, been appearing on both, you know, and yeah, they're going to be popping up on the Wii U for sure. And with new special family controls to generally interest them into a, well, maybe I should go with the Wii U version instead, so, you know, there's precious money walking away. So, I mean, I can understand Sony wanting to get a new console out there, and obviously one to go for, though, but I'm worried about, generally, I'm worried about them going too far. It's like, after the PS2, Xbox, GameCube generation, as this generation has went on, I've grown increasingly worried about where we're going with graphics. Like, it's awesome graphics can reach such a high level, but just because you can reach for it does not mean you should risk everything and always reach for it, you know. Because that's not the ultimate goal of most games. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe I'm just a simple person when it comes to aesthetics, the aesthetic design of a game, you know? I mean, I'm not so tied down that, like, 2Ds is dead to me. It's like, well, I can't, my imagination's, like, broken. I can't imagine anything. What the fuck are scribble of pixels supposed to be? I don't know. It's just, it's I don't know. It's just I've been growingly fearful of how several companies have closed down, graphics are pushing up, and I mean, generally, a lot of people I know just don't seem to grasp what a game is. Generally, they're not the type of people I hang out for game things. I mean, just people, you wouldn't really refer to as gamers, I guess you could say. I mean, they play, they first-person shooters and stuff. People you probably wouldn't associate more closely to the roots and history of games as much, you could say. I mean, I'm not trying to insult them. I mean, they play games still, so, it's not legitimate. Just because they like first-person shooters and really high, fancy graphics, it's not an excuse to just like, well, you're in your FPS, and you can go over there with the casual people. But, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around that kind of thinking with them, and I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. And there was that whole thing where Sony supposedly patented a software that would lessen secondhand sales and stuff, which I'm scared of that too. I mean, I'm not fearful of the digital age. I'm fearful of an age where we can't own something. I'm not worried about if it's in a digital format. I'm worried about, do we have the right to really own it? Like, that's why my favorite thing out of any digital thing is good old games. You own the fucking thing. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. You can put on how many computers you own. You can play your friends with it on your computers and shit. There's no fucking BS related to it. But, you got stuff where you gotta be online, like Ubisoft's I'm not a big PC gamer, as I've admitted before, but I know a lot of Ubisoft's PC games require you to be online to play. Just play. Single player and shit. It's like, that's stupid retarded. And it would be horrible if the PS4 was to do such practices like that. That would be awful. I don't even know if I would buy a PS4 if it had practices like that. Like, if it's some kind, I would have to see assuming they actually use this stuff they patented in the PS4. I mean, I understand used sales are a big problem to the game industry at the same time. Ooh. Sorry, I'm awfully thirsty today. I mean, I understand it's a big problem in the game industry right now. And, I mean, look. I'm sure you've heard 5 million times from different people that, it's like, oh my goodness, they have rights, oh my goodness, they don't, blah, 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 I'm sure if you heard a lot. Let's look at a different way here. Video games have one revenue. Well, actually, technically two, since the digital age started. One, the game itself. Two, adding on content to the game, which includes day one DLC and additional from throughout its life. Those are the two revenue options that a game has. They get no money from stores that rent their games out, and they get no money from used sales of that game. Now, the common argument in this is, well, what about movies and stuff and that, yeah? This is my point here. And, we have to be fair at the same time. I mean, it's not fair for them to say we can't sell them used. That's not fair either. But you gotta look from the point of view, they don't get as many options to revenue off, movies and shows. They get money from Netflix. They get money from renting. They get money from selling out to channels that want to show their movie or their TV shows. Like when Futurama was on Cartoon Network, the people who had the rights for Futurama, which I would assume is still Fox, were getting revenue for that. And Family Guy and so on. That gives them revenue in their pockets. Games can't do that. There's no system for that. But, well, technically, On Live is trying systems like that where you can temporarily rent out and stuff, actually. But that's On Live, not universally everything. So, I personally haven't tried On Live either, so I can't really comment too much about that. But to be honest, I did hear they had some kind of rental system, so to be fair, there is that. But in all honesty, there is not, at the current format of how games are, as many options to get revenue. So, I mean, and you, like, people who complain about, $60 is too much for one game. Yeah, that's a lot of money, but let's put, like, Metal Gear Solid 4 or Final Fantasy 13 out there. Whether you like it or hate them, whether you think it was a good masterpiece or a piece of shit, they took a lot of time to make. You think $60 is a lot? Let's see, what, Metal Gear took 3 years? Was it, I think it was 3 years for them to make Metal Gear Solid 4, and I don't even want to try. Remember how many years Final Fantasy 13 was being made? They put so much money into that, You think $60 is as, like, so much money goes into games these days that are in 3D, and especially, using really huge-ass graphics, So, I mean, it's really difficult. And it just comes back to the same problem. The companies were still filthy fucking rich. And a lot of companies, like, there was all the merging business that was going on, with Squaresoft and Enix merging, Namco and Bandai merging, Tecmo and, who was that company? The Dynasty Warrior people, damn it, I can't remember their name. I mean, even the big companies were having trouble fucking sustaining themselves to a certain point. I mean, like, Final Fantasy Spirited Away, like, I don't know about you, I don't know about my viewership when it comes to Final Fantasy Spirited Away. Me and Aaron went to see Spirited Away, like, in the first week that movie came out. I could not tell you how appalling that movie was to me. Like, graphically, it was awesome. Like, that time period for those kind of graphics, even now, those graphics are insanely impressive. But it was a horrendous movie towards the Final Fantasy fan base because it was a sci-fi movie. Generally, there was probably only like 10% people who might have actually been interested in that. The Final Fantasy fan base, while everyone else was probably expecting a more medieval kind of thing of that, But, love it or hate it, the point is they invested tons of money in it, and boom. Initially, Squaresoft basically died. If it wasn't for Enix, they would have died. Enix basically said, hey, what's more? Keep everyone going. Keep the app train going. Choo choo. Everyone else seems to get so excited seeing more realistic graphics. I seem to always get more upset by it. Like, it's interesting to see really good graphics. And I don't hate good graphics. I just hate to see people who put their heart and soul in a game and sink their entire company to the ground, even if that game is successful, just to achieve that level. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's too much to sink everything. You, your company, every worker at that building and shit, down to the ground just to get that product out. And even if it succeeds, it doesn't seem to even do anything. I don't know, it's really sad, things change, THQ just went out of business. Liquidated basically everything they had and shit. No, I'm not a big THQ fan. I mean, there was those horrendous Terminator games on the Super Nintendo. Those were THQ, weren't they? I'm pretty sure it was, wasn't it? I don't know, it just makes me sad to see stuff like that happen. But I guess only time can really tell. Supposedly, what was that? I think February 20th, there's like a teaser thing on Sony's YouTube that says February 20th. That's basically it, with a bunch of sparkles and shapes of their, iconic X, circle, square, triangle, flowing around. But, supposedly a lot of journalists, people on the internet and stuff, are coming to the conclusion with suspicions and rumors about the PS4 that this will be the unveiling of the PS4, and that supposedly it will come out early 2014. I don't know. Well, what do you think? I mean, I know I just sat here rambled a whole bunch of stuff that's probably just a really old gamer is into a lot of old, new, fun games. I always like really unique ideas, even if I don't get into it so much. Like, what's a good example? Can't think of a good example right now. I don't know. I can't think of a good example right now. But I mean, I really appreciate trying a new idea instead of doing the same rinse, repeat, milking scenario. I don't know. But anyway, I guess I've rambled on a little too much. But anyway, I would love everyone to, share some kind of comments or what your thoughts are on the PS4. I mean, don't get in mind. I'm not saying like, go ban the PS4, boo, burn Sony, burn them, stop them, stop, burn. That was for my new heater I got for my room. But it's just, I'm fearful that even more companies will be forced into a corner and put more risks that will put their company, themselves, and everyone related to that building in more jeopardy than they were this generation. That's why I'm more fearful. I hate to see good companies go, I really liked Game Art. I really... brain fart. I liked Walking Design. I really liked Walking Design, for example, and, they died off, obviously, a long time ago, but it's still a company I was sad to see, and even if I don't like THQ a whole bunch, I would be a big fat liar to say I'd never played some of the better games they released, and again, still sad to see somebody go under. I mean, I think the only company I ever... Actually, why on that subject? Atari or the former, what did they go by? Game... I can't remember what, let's take a look at that. But, Atari went out of business, and The thing there is, the Atari we know in the modern age is not really the old Atari. Basically, the newer Atari is a different company that bought all the rights to Atari, like their logo and their name and everything. Info Gamers, yeah. They bought everything Atari, or maybe not everything, but they bought rights to the name and logo, and basically said, well, here's our new identity. But, yeah, even though they became the new Atari, they went out of business, so they basically did the whole problem too. I'll be honest, I'm not sad to see Info Gamers go away, though. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of some of their games. I mean, I know they made a lot of the modern DBZ games, and they weren't all bad, but oh, that Legacy Goku, it'll haunt my Christmas forever. Okay, maybe that's a little evil holding them against that. It's still sad to see companies go, but there I am going again, blabbing about shit when I was trying to end it. I'm always a babble mouth. Anyway, let's focus. I'd love to hear anything you have to say. Leave a comment, leave me your thoughts. You know, I'm here, and I try to respond to everyone, even though YouTube's commenting box thing's a piece of junk, because when multiple people comment, it only shows the last one and ignores all the others, so you have to look through the entire comments thing to ensure you catch everyone. But I try to make sure I catch everyone, so I would love to hear your thoughts. Am I insane? Am I not insane? Am I a little understandable? Or am I just unreasonable? I don't know. But only the future would tell. Maybe the maybe the PS4 will do good stuff. I can only hope it does good stuff. I hope for a good thing. But I just feel for some of the companies I like in game developers. It's been a sad last several years for quite a few developers that I don't want to see more go. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. Yeah, it's 32 minutes long, so yeah, a bit long. But, you know, I kind of wanted to rant about that, because it just... It's personally how I feel. It's just, I feel that it's going to put companies in a bad spot. Going so much further ahead. But I'll let you decide whether I'm insane or not. So anyway, thank you, dear viewer, for watching. And again, I'll have more videos coming up. So I'll see you in the future. And my beard will devour your world.